Let's see if anyone shows up. Hello. Oh, wow, people are here. Okay, so what I'm doing today is signing pre-order copies of my book, Small Batch Breads. There are 2 ways that signed copies of books happen. Well, there's more than 2 ways, but there's 2 ways that I'm doing it for pre-orders at least. One is I've partnered with a local bookstore, Wellesley Books. You can pre-order through them. And then at some point, I will physically go to their store and sign the copies of the books. Then there's another way that I've done pre-order signed copies, which is with a cookbook store in Buffalo called Read It and Eat. And what I'm doing with them is you pre-order on their site, and then I have blank book plates that I'm going to sign, mail to them. They will stick inside the copies of the book and then mail them out. So the first thing I realized I have to do in signing books is you don't even really think about this until you've written a book and need to sign it, but I need a signature. And I obviously don't want to use the one I use to sign checks with. So I'm going to practice a few signatures and I can show them to you and you can tell me which one you think would look best in the copy of the book that you've pre-ordered. There should be somewhere on this a link where you can pre-order the book if you haven't already. Thank you to everyone who's joining, by the way. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them as a comment. I have a copy of the book here, so if there's anything that you want to see inside or have questions about, I'm happy to answer them. But I'm gonna start by just practicing some signatures because I guess I gotta. I don't know. And then there are 55 pre-ordered signed copies already through Read It and Eat. So I'm gonna sign 55 of these book plates so that I can mail them back to them so that those of you who have so wonderfully pre-ordered signed copies can get your signed copies through them. So I don't know. It's really having a lot. Rebecca Eisenberg is a lot of letters. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do my signature. Let's try big R, big E. Do we like that? Big R, big E. Maybe I do do I do it scriptier? Is that scriptier? What do we think? I don't know. I feel I watch these people on TikTok who are letter, what are they called? Calligraphers. And they have such pretty, the way they connect the letters. I could do that. Big R and then my last name. Or I can just do Rebecca. Is that... I know, I have to be able to do it over and over again. I feel I saw... look, I'm 100% not Taylor Swift, but I feel I've seen she holds her pen so that she can do it over and over again, but I don't know. Let's see. Like that? Do we like that? Scripted? What do you think? First name, last name? Do I do... It's got to be first name, last name, right? I feel I'm leaning towards this. Yeah. So nice to see you. Thank you for joining. I feel it's going to be something like this, but we'll see. I'm one of those people who has 8 different handwritings because I start out keeping it really neat and then my hand gets tired and it ends up just being a scribble. So I think we'll do those. I'm going to count out 55 of these book plates to sign. And then I will start signing. And if you have any questions about my cookbook, Small Batch Breads, what recipes are in it, how to use the book. I mean, obviously, you know how a cookbook works, but I do think there's like, cookbook authors put a lot of thought into like the order that the recipes are in, what information is in the front of the book before you get to the recipes. So if you have any questions about any of that, just drop a comment and I will do my best to answer. So, other question. Blue or black? Blue or black signature? Is the blue fun or is like black more official and like professional? Should I be professional? How professional does one need to be? All right, I'm gonna start with black. Oh, I didn't count out 55. Oh God, counting on camera. Oh, everyone's saying blue. Okay, I will do blue. Thank you. All right, this is where, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is this riveting to watch? 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, everyone is saying blue, so we will do blue. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 30. You know, it doesn't seem like a lot until you're suddenly counting them out, and I'm like, oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, watch, I found out this pack is 50 and I didn't need to count this all out. Thank you very much, Starry-Eyed Wings. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, one pack of these is 50, so at least now I know that. I'll do all of these and then I'll take 5 out of the next one. And I will do my best. If I missed a question, you might have to repost it just because I'm looking down at some of my writing. Okay, first one signed. It's so interesting to think that like someone's gonna get this and they're not even gonna know that it was the first one that was signed. Maybe I should put like, okay, I put a little heart in the corner and this is the only one I'm gonna do that on. So if you're one of the people, if you're the person who gets the one with the heart in the corner, you'll know it was the first one I signed. That's exciting. If you're interested in pre-ordering my book, you can go to smallbatchbreads.com. You can pre-order it there and you can pre-order signed copies there as well. Whoops, this one got a little away from me, but there we go. There we go. Thank you, June. Thank you. Here's another one. Yeah, I'm really excited about everyone finally getting my book. Like, I've been working on it for so long, and it's crazy to think that, like, soon you'll be able to hold it too and, like, bake from it and everything. Thank you, Cynthia. I hear all the time from people who, like, have fallen out of love with bread baking or who, like, don't bake bread anymore since, like, their kids went to college or, you know, they're widowed or, you know, someone else in their family is gluten-free and they love the small batch breads for that. And, like, I just can't wait for it to be, like, out in the world for all of you to finally try these recipes. As like a food blogger, like I develop a recipe, I photograph a video. There's maybe like a month or two before I share it with you. So having to like sit on all of these recipes that I'm obsessed with and that I worked so hard on for like 2 years before I can share them with you has been like, you have no idea, such a challenge. Let's see. Oh, it's a lot more than I thought it was gonna be, but it is unbelievably cool to be signing cookbooks for people. Like, I am so flattered and just delighted that there are people out there who like want not just my book, but a signed copy of my book is very cool. I could not have imagined this. Like, when I decided to go to pastry school and decided to start my blog, that this was coming. How's it looking? Still looking good? We're still liking the blue? Yeah. Is there anything you guys want to see inside the book that I can show you while I have it here? And again, if you've asked a question and I didn't respond, it might be because I was looking down. So feel free to ask again. If my hand gets tired, I'll stop and just show you some stuff from it anyway. I'm starting to feel like I'm writing like label, like, you know, like the sticker you wear at an event. If you can get the sticker out of your copy of the book, you can go pretend to be me at your local, I don't know, singles mixer. I really like that one, except for where, I guess the G got a little messed up on Eisenberg, but these, yeah, so what I'm doing for those of you who are just joining, these are book plate stickers. There's 2 ways that I'm signing pre-orders of my book. One is that I've partnered with a local bookstore, Wellesley Books, and if you pre-order through them, I'm gonna like go to their store and sign physical copies of the book. And then I've also partnered with a culinary bookstore in Buffalo called Read It and Eat. And what they're doing is they're selling the pre-orders and then they send me these book plate stickers. I send the stickers back to them and then they put them in the books to mail out for everyone who pre-ordered signed copies. So what I'm doing today is signing those book plates. And someone just asked what my favorite, or like what recipe I'm most excited for in the book. And I feel like I've said this one before, so I'll give you 2. Let me find it. Where is it? So the chapter, it's in the chapter Twist, Sticks, and Braids. And it is, both of these recipes are in that chapter. I'm like really happy with how those recipes came out. So the number 1 recipe I'm excited for is the mini chocolate babka. This is a 4-inch by 4-inch square of chocolate babka. And it is so good. And the thing that I'm most, I mean, I'm obviously it's a babka. I'm very excited about it with the chocolate filling. But a true babka needs to have a simple sugar syrup poured on top. That's what makes it like so pretty and shiny. But a simple syrup is equal parts water and sugar that you like bring to a boil. And it, for a small batch recipe, putting, you know, like a tablespoon of water and a tablespoon of sugar on the stove, you're just not going to get a pot that's deep enough. And I figured out how to do a simple syrup in the microwave, which I love because it's more accessible, a lot less stressful, and you can do it in smaller quantities. So the babka is exciting for a number of reasons. It's delicious. I love how cute and small it is, but also I'm really excited about being able to do a simple syrup in the microwave. The other recipe I'm really excited about, whoops, this is the same one. I mean, all of them, but like this Nutella star bread is so pretty and one of those things that looks really fancy, but is actually very simple to make. And of course, like with all the recipes, I have step-by-step photos to show you how to do it. But this uses one of the doughs from earlier in the book. So it uses hold on, I'll show you. Just like the 2 buttery crescent rolls. So this recipe makes 8 crescent rolls, but instead of dividing the dough into 8, for the star bread, you divide it in half and roll 2 discs and then use it to make this like really pretty star bread. And once you've made the star bread, like I did it with Nutella, that's how it's written for the book. But if you leave the like sugar sprinkle off, you could do this with like pesto, with sun-dried tomato, with a flavored cream cheese. It's really versatile. So I'm really excited about those 2 in particular. But I mean, honestly, all of them, they're just really fun to make. And they were so fun to develop. And like even I went to pastry school, I make bread all the time, but the like rapid fire process of making so many different breads, I just learned so much about how dough behaves and dough, like, you know, the temperature of your room and how that affects the dough and everything. And if I had been doing it with full-size breads, it just feels like such a slower process because you have to go through so many more ingredients and it's so much more time and it's so big. But having all of the recipes be scaled down to 1 cup of flour, it's like so much easier to just try a bunch of different things. And I know I found that in my testing, and I hope that's kind of what you find when you get a copy of the book and, you know, pick the recipes you want to try. So again, if you haven't pre-ordered yet, you can do that at smallbatchbreads.com. There's a link there if you want to order a signed copy. Bye, June. Thanks for stopping by. If you want to pre-order a signed copy, that's where to do it. I don't know. I have to talk to my publisher, but I don't know what the plan is for signed copies once the book comes out. So if you want one or if you want to give one as a gift, definitely order it now in the pre-order window, just in case, you know, we aren't doing signed copies anymore once the book comes out. And I'm hoping to do some sort of tour or events. I know I have one event on the schedule at my culinary school in I think end of September and October. But as of now, I don't have anything planned. So I don't know that there's going to be a tour where like you can get books signed, but I'm hoping to. I would really like to. I think that would be a lot of fun, and I would love to meet you guys. Thank you, Cynthia. I hope you have a good doctor's appointment. So again, if you're just joining, my blue pen is running out of ink, so we might need to switch to black. If you're just joining, I'm signing book plates for pre-order copies of my book, if you've pre-ordered them. And again, I put a little heart in the, I can go back and find it. It was on the first one. I put a little heart on the corner of the first one I signed. So if you're lucky enough to get your signed copy and it has a little heart in the corner, you'll know that you got the very first one I signed. And yes, Yana, I assume is your name. Pictures on the Steps was like a non-negotiable for me when I was pitching my book. If you use the recipes on my website, you know I have step-by-step photos for everything. And so when I was pitching my book, every publisher, I said, we're going to need to do a lot of photos for this because it would not be a Practical Kitchen book if there aren't step-by-step photos. So I can actually show you here. Let me show you what we did for some of this. So the way you follow the recipes in here, let's see, this one is, these are the restaurant style French dinner rolls, which you might have seen. I'm working on the full size version of this to put on my website. The small version does just 4 dinner rolls. So when you're reading the recipe, it'll say, let's see, where is it? Reading upside down is hard. Here, so like step 4, shape. It'll say in parentheses, shape each piece into a tight ball, see page 34. And then you can go back to the beginning on page 34, where I have instructions for how to shape, like step-by-step photo instructions for how to shape a tight dough ball. Here's 32. Here, because it's a technique that's used so often in the book that I didn't want to have to put it in every single recipe where you use it, but it's referenced in the beginning. And then once you know how to do this, you're not going to have to flip back to the front every time a recipe says to shape a tight dough ball. And then here, so it'll say, see page 34, then shape each ball into a roll following the instructions in photo 1. So here's photo 1, and it's just right across from the recipe. You're not going to have to flip it all to get to it. There's a little caption underneath it with more information on exactly what I'm doing here. And then later in the recipe, it'll say, you know, follow photo 2, and here's photo 2. So there's step-by-step instructions in the front of the book, in each recipe. I think there's only a couple that really don't have step-by-step photos, and that's because they're baked as a dough ball, and so you can just go back to page 34 to find those instructions. I feel like I'm getting a little sloppier here, but we're nearing the end. This is going to be 50, and then I have to do 5 more. So again, I'm signing book plates for the people who have pre-ordered my signed copies of my cookbook. These are going to go, if you pre-ordered through Read It and Eat, which is a culinary bookstore in Buffalo, I'm going to mail all of these to them. They'll put them in the books and then send the books to you. If you pre-ordered a signed copy through Wellesley Books, which is a local bookstore, I am going to go there in person and sign the copy of the book. So there won't be a book plate sticker in it. But those of you who've pre-ordered, I really, really appreciate it. I do think this is like a really giftable cookbook. I think it's great for like college students, anyone who's single and likes baking bread. Bread recipes are just so big and use so many ingredients. It's also great. I've heard from a lot of people who use these like with their kids, especially if their kids don't like to share. They can have each kid make their own thing, and there's no fighting over who gets to knead or whatever, and it's not like a huge amount of baked goods in the end. So let's see, here's this. Is there anything else from the book that you guys want me to show you, or questions that you have about it? I might have been looking down when someone asked a question, so if I didn't answer, feel free to ask again. All right, someone's getting a really messed up one. My bad. Here we go. Okay, so that's 50. I need to do 5 more. And again, so here's the book, Small Batch Breads. Every single recipe is made with 1 cup of flour. I have photos, step-by-step photos. These are 2 different methods of kneading. Here's stretch and fold, slap and fold. So the beginning of the book is really a reference that you're going to keep coming back to. But once you know these techniques, like once you've done them once or twice, you'll know them and you won't need to keep coming back here. So I always hate when books have you like flipping back and forth, but if you're not familiar with these techniques, you can do this. You'll flip back like once or twice, but then you'll know them and you won't need to do that again. Is the book available internationally? Yes, on Amazon, available internationally. If you DM me, I can send you the global Amazon link, but you should be able to search for it on your Amazon for your country and find it that way. But it is available for pre-order internationally at the moment. I've already heard, I think I've heard from people in Singapore, Malaysia, Germany, Canada, Australia. It's just so cool to think that my book's going to be everywhere. And if you've been here a while, you know I'm firmly Team Kitchen Scale. If you're not yet Team Kitchen Scale, I do have a section in the front with my conversion chart, because every recipe does have volume cups, but they're written with weight measurements first. So for all my international folks who are already on the gram system, you're welcome. You won't need to convert anything. But I do also have instructions here if you're brand new to using a kitchen scale. It is the single best tool you can use in your baking that will like immediately level up your baking. I have instructions here for how to do it if you're new to it, because you will get the best results if you use a kitchen scale. Here, I'll just flip through it a little bit. So the chapters are, there's 5 chapters, and look at this. These are called end papers. It's like right on the inside. It looks like flour dusting. So there's 5 chapters. There's, here, little loaves, buns and rolls, twist sticks and braids, flatbread, cracker, and pizza. And then the last section is biscuits. Why can't I read that? Biscuits, pastries, and quick breads. We got. So I feel like a lot of baking cookbooks are like mostly sort of quicker, like cookies, cakes, biscuits kind of stuff. And then there's maybe some breads. My book is kind of the inverse, where it's mostly yeasted breads. And then the last chapter is more of the stuff that doesn't need yeast. So biscuits, some crackers. These are rosemary and olive oil crackers. This is matzah. We have some drop biscuits and flaky buttermilk biscuits. These vanilla bean scones are like, they're like those ones you get at Starbucks, only, I mean, obviously I think they're better. But it's so cute. It's 1 cup of flour and it makes just 6 cute little vanilla scones. I also have a recipe for pie dough in here with 1 cup of flour, and then some recipes that use the pie dough. So here's a galette. This is a Pop-Tart that's sort of, I don't know, like the size of my hand. And of course, once you do, like I did it with Nutella and chocolate icing, you can put jam, you can put anything you want in there. And then I have some beignets. There's a lot of, and then, yeah, here, finally, this is sweet cornbread baked in a loaf pan. So that's a quick bread. But yeah, there's a lot of great recipes in here. I'm so grateful to everyone who pre-ordered. Thank you so much if you did. There should be a link. This is my first time doing an Instagram live like this. There should be a link, I think, somewhere on the screen where you can pre-order a signed copy. If not, or if you can't find it, you can go to smallbatchbreads.com and pre-order it. And I'm gonna ship these off later this week. Again, if you get the one with the heart in the corner, you'll know that you got the one I signed first. So thank you everyone for joining. Yeah. And thank you for pre-ordering. Pre-orders make a huge difference for authors. So I really appreciate it if you've already taken the time to do that. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.